Hello, SBI TV subscribers. My name is Greg Alexander, and I am the CEO of SBI, a sales and marketing consulting firm dedicated to helping you make your number. You are watching SBI TV. This is a monthly web TV show featuring guests just like you, executives trying to grow their revenues. And by tuning in each month, you can peek behind the scenes and watch your peers discuss their strategies for making their numbers. On today's show, I am joined by four of SBI's smartest. Let me briefly introduce them to you. First, over there in the pink shirt, we've got Matt Shares. Matt's body of work includes projects such as Broadridge Financial, Expeditors, and Informatica. Next, we have John Staples. John's client roster includes great companies such as Phillips 66, Motorola, and Dow Jones. The tall guy in the middle, that's Scott Brewer. He's advised companies such as Yahoo, Samsung, and OpenText. And lastly, directly across from me is my co-founder, Aaron Bartels. And Aaron spends his time in the private equity world with people such as private equity investors, Permira and New Mountain Capital, as well as activist investors such as Elliott Management. So guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Greg.
All right. So today we're coming to you from the spectacular island of Maui. So what are we doing here? We just wrapped SBI's annual Sales Strategy Summit. This is something you're going to want to come to in the future. This is an exclusive, invitation-only event where an elite group of sales leaders get together to develop their sales strategy for the coming year. It is rare that we get these four sales experts in the same place at once. They are here today because they were the facilitators of this year's event. So I wanted to get them on the show and mix it up a little bit and have them share their wisdom with you, our TV audience. The agenda of the summit was built around SBI's Revenue Growth Strategy Workbook, which we all have a copy of here. It's titled, How to Make Your Number in 2016. We like to keep it simple here at SBI. If you want a copy of this workbook, go to salesbenchmarkindex.com/2016-report. If you want to have someone from SBI teach you how to use it, maybe one of these four guys, sign up for our workshop at salesbenchmarkindex.com/2016-workshop. Our firm's point of view is there are 6 steps to a revenue growth strategy. Our belief is the key to making your number is a concept called strategic alignment. What does that mean? It can simply be described as getting the strategy of the company aligned with the functional strategies of the product team, the marketing team, the sales organization, and the human resources department, and most importantly, with the external marketplace. This concept can be a little confusing for some when it's first introduced. So to help you better understand it, these guys and I are going to demo it for you today by performing a good old-fashioned role play. Remember those? I'm going to play the role of CEO. Aaron is going to play the role of the product leader. Matt's going to play the role of the CMO. John's going to play the role of sales, and Scott is going to play the role of the HR leader. When watching this, imagine a CEO in a boardroom with his team crafting a revenue growth strategy. And our performance should highlight how we think that session should go. So let's start by meeting our fictional characters. I will lead off. My name is Charlie, the CEO, and there are 3 things that I care about: revenue growth, hitting the EBITDA target, and increasing the valuation of the company. Aaron, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Parker. I'm responsible for products, and I'm focused on 3 things. Number 1, knowing the customer better than anybody else in the organization. Number 2, launching products that solve our customers' most difficult problems. And number 3, having a roadmap that keeps us competitive in the marketplace.
All right, perfect. Maddie, introduce yourself.
I'm Mark, the CMO, and I care about acquiring new customers, generating a return on my marketing budget, and leads for the sales team.
All right, John, let's come to you.
Hi, my name's Vic, the VP of Sales, and I care about 3 things: making my number, putting an A team on the field, and making the number every quarter.
Scott?
Hi, I'm Hank, the Human Resources Leader, and what I care about are 3 things: employee engagement, attracting and retaining top talent, and ensuring our compensation is competitive in the marketplace.
All right, very good. So we have our setting, spectacular setting. Your setting with your CEO might not be as cool as this setting. If you hang around with us, it might be. We've met our fictional characters, okay? So we're gonna take a quick, short break. When we come back, we're gonna simulate how a CEO and his team thinks through developing the revenue growth strategy, and we're gonna use our workbook to make that happen. So come right back.
This is not a table. It is a stage where your performance is measured in numbers. If you reach them, you get an encore. If you don't, it could be curtains. That's why you need the well-rehearsed, proven sales and marketing strategies of SBI.
Welcome back. You are watching SBI TV. I am Greg Alexander, CEO of SBI, and that is a team of brilliant sales strategists. Today, we're trying to help you make your 2016 number by demonstrating how to develop and execute a revenue growth strategy. We're using SBI's 6-step revenue growth methodology and the companion workbook to guide our conversation. Today's focus is on getting into strategic alignment. Before the break, we set the scene and we introduced our characters for our role play exercise. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so step number 1, guys, is the corporate strategy and making sure that it's crystal clear so all of the functional strategies can build into the corporate strategy. So I'm aligned with you, and you. So Parker, I'm gonna come to you first. You're the head of products.
Yep.
What inputs do you need from Charlie, the CEO, to build your product strategy?
Yep, so I need 3 things. Number 1, I need to know what our objectives are. I need to know if we're trying to win new logos. I need to know if we're trying to win more share of wallet with our existing customers. I need to know if we're trying to retain our existing customers. So number 1, I need to know our objectives. Number 2, I need to know what markets we want to play in. So are we going after certain industries? Are we going after a certain size of companies? Are we going after certain geographies? All of that's going to be critical in how I build and design my products. And lastly is I need to know our advantage and how we're going to win in the marketplace. So are we going to win on price? Are we going to win on product? Are we going to win on customer experience? And those 3 pieces are those 3 different dimensions are going to drive how I develop my products.
Okay, and if I don't give those things to you, because I'm now giving that to you, I'm an input into your strategy, it's hard for you to go develop a compelling product strategy, correct?
Absolutely, yep.
All right. Mark, the CMO. Okay.
Hi, Chuck.
What inputs do you need from me, the CEO, in developing your marketing strategy?
Yeah, well, to, I guess, piggyback on what my good friend Parker said, obviously I need to know how we're different in the marketplace, specifically competition. Because I can't be running campaigns to differentiate when I don't know who our competitors are and how we win or lose, number 1. Number 2, I need to think about the markets we're going to play in. What markets are we serving? You need to direct me. Because you give me this budget, I need to know how to allocate that budget correctly. And third, are we going to grow from an objective perspective through new logos, through share of wallet? Are we defending the install base, or do I need to do all 3 things in 3 different market segments? If you don't tell me that, I literally don't know how to allocate the resources.
Okay, very cool. I'm gonna skip HR for a moment. I'm gonna come to Vic, the VP of Sales. So Vic, what inputs do you need from me, Charlie, the CEO, in order for you to make your number?
So as you provide your inputs to both product and marketing, and next comes up sales, and what I need to know if we're going to compete on price, product, or client intimacy, then that's going to help me determine how I'm going to structure my sales organization. It's going to determine what channel I'm going to sell through and what type of talent I need to put on the field. If you decide to go price, then I need to have a very cost-efficient sales structure in order to go to market to meet your budget objectives.
Got it. So you're going to choose channels, route to market, based on my corporate strategy. So let's say I'm going to compete on price. He's going to build you inexpensive products. He's going to market them cost effectively, and you're going to sell them through a cost-effective channel.
Exactly.
But in contrast, if I said we're going to sell at a premium, maybe 2 times our competitors, and compete on product differentiation, he's going to develop killer products. He's going to message the heck out of that differentiation, and then you might go to market with a belly-to-belly product sales force.
Exactly. I may have a SME model that involves multiple product SMEs, a very expensive go-to-market, so the product needs to be priced at a premium in order for me to support that structure.
So I'm Charlie, the CEO. I don't know a lot about sales. I hear SME. I don't even know what you're talking about. What is a SME?
So I may need in a sales campaign multiple subject matter experts in order for that client to understand the value in the different solutions that I provide.
All right. Hank the Tank, the head of HR. What do you need from me, Charlie, the CEO, in order for you to be successful?
I need a clear understanding of how we plan on winning and beating our competition, and what talent will help us differentiate our offerings against the competition at the moment of truth.
Okay. But aren't you supposed to figure that out?
I am, but without a clear North Star, if you will, at the corporate strategy level, I'm guessing based on what I've done in the past.
All right.
And that's a disaster.
Okay. So now I'm Charlie, and I just heard from all of you, and I've written down my hypothetical notes here, and now I go off and I build my corporate strategy and hopefully give you folks what it is that you need. That's only a piece of strategic alignment. Next up is you each need to be aligned with each other, okay? So Parker, let's come back to you. So what do you need from Mark, the marketing leader, in order for you to have a successful product strategy?
Yep. So I need three things from Mark. Number one, he's having more conversations with customer than anybody else in the organization. So based upon all the leads and people coming to the website, people responding to our campaigns, I need feedback in terms of what they're saying. And I need to bake that into my product development strategy. Secondly, I need to know what his objectives are. So is he trying to generate a certain number of leads? Is he trying to generate a certain amount of pipeline? Is he trying to open up new markets? And through that, I'm able to supply him with what he needs from a product perspective, from a messaging perspective, from a differentiation perspective, et cetera. And then the last thing I need to understand his plan. So how is he going to achieve his marketing objectives through the plan, so I know what I need to deliver to him when.
Okay. Very good. So you're now clear what he needs from you.
Got it.
For him to give you what you need to be successful, and
Got
that's
it.
marketing.
Yep.
Okay. If we flip to our workbook here and we get to sales, we're on the bottom of page 32. And now, Parker, I'm going to ask you to tell Vic, the VP of Sales, what you need from him in order for you to build great products.
Yep. So I'm going to need something quite similar to what I need from marketing. So I need the feedback from the marketplace. And Vic's having a whole lot of conversations across his sales force, and they're really rich conversations. So I need to understand what the marketplace is saying about our products. What are they saying about our competition? I need to hear from his pre-sales engineers in terms of what are they saying about the usability of the product and the ability to demo it and the feedback from the customer. So that all leads into my number one objective, which is I need to know the customer better than anybody else. So leaning upon marketing, leaning upon sales, and leaning upon myself to get that done.
Okay.
Secondly, I need to know what his objectives are. So how is he going to generate his revenue plan? Is it going to come from selling new products to new markets? Is it new products in existing markets? Is it existing products to new markets? I need to understand how all that's going to come together, so that way I can support him with the messaging, with the tools, with the whether it's playbooks or battle cards or sales enablement, et cetera.
Okay. Are you going to be willing to give Parker what it is that he needs?
I have to be, because if I want to be aligned with Parker and be selling products my customers want to buy, then I need to be aligned with Parker throughout the process.
Right. And you probably hate doing that because you're Vic, the VP of Sales, and you want to be out traveling with the sales guy, slaying dragons, closing deals.
Yeah.
But he's now on top of you saying, hey, here's the product roadmap, what do you think? And you have to give him some strategic advice.
Yeah, we need to be aligned. If I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing my job. Failure to be aligned with the product team, and then I end up with product that my customers don't want to buy, I can't sell, and therefore I'm going to miss my number. And my job at the beginning is to make the number.
Right. And I'm now going to step in as Charlie, the CEO, and make sure you understand how valuable you are to Parker. Let's say you have 1,000 sales reps. Each sales rep makes 5 sales calls a week. That's 5,000 customer interactions a week, or call it 20,000 a month, or $250,000 a year. That is gold for him, and absolute gold. So your alignment with him is essential.
Yeah, the lack of alignment between Vic and Parker in this case is critical. If I don't provide him the feedback, he doesn't have the voice of the customer, and he lacks some of the insights in order to develop the products going forward. Lack of a product roadmap, and I'm screwed.
Yep. All right, Parker, let's come to you now, back to you, I should say. And let's go to Hank, the head of HR. So sometimes, especially people watching this, might say, does a product leader and the HR leader really need to be in alignment? I mean, it might seem a little consultant speak. So what do you need from Hank?
Yeah. So for my team personally, I mean, I need the type of people that are going to build the product that's in demand in the marketplace. So for example, if the market has shifted from being interested in hardware technology to a software desire, I need to be able to replace my product team with, instead of hardware engineers, I need software engineers. I also need to work with Hank from both a marketing and sales perspective in terms of who are the right people to communicate the product message to the marketplace.
Yep.
Because understand, I know the marketplace better than anybody else at the table here. And through that understanding, I'm now able to work with Hank and understand the talent that needs to communicate that message.
Right. So you actually can inform Hank on the hiring profiles in the marketing organization and the sales organization, because you're probably 12, 24, maybe even 36 months out ahead of marketing and sales and kind of know what's coming. Where Vic might be dealing with a legacy sales force that sold the old product.
Right.
Here comes the new product, big shift. And if you go to Hank with enough lead time, you can solve that problem before it even happens.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. We just heard what Parker needs from marketing, HR, and sales. You guys have signed up to give it to him, so we're in strategic alignment across the product group and the functional areas. Mark, the CMO, I'm now going to put you on the hot seat, okay? What do you need from Parker, the product leader, in order for you to build an effective marketing strategy?
He needs to tell me what products I should be talking about, what problems we're solving, why we're solving those problems, and how we're doing it better than anybody else. And that's the number one thing I need from you, Parker. So I'll stop there, Charlie. That's the first thing I need.
Yeah, so many watching this would say, wait a minute, I'm the marketing leader. I own market research. I should be telling Parker, go build X, Y, Z. Yet you're saying, nope, I need that from Parker, so how come?
Well, I'm making the assumption that Parker has taken the feed from market research, and he's been told about the market segmentation, account segmentation, buyers and users, so he now has that. He said,
okay,
these are the problems that are pervasive, they're urgent, and people are willing to pay for them. Hey, Mark, go run these campaigns, because I can execute the best campaigns in the world, Charlie, which I've done in the past, and they don't generate any leads, and you get mad. Well, guess what? He hasn't given me what I need because I don't know how we're different. So, Parker, that's what I need.
Okay, great. All right, so now let's come to the legendary battle. Mark, the CMO, versus Vic, the VP of Sales, okay? So what do you need from Vic, the VP of Sales, for you to build an effective marketing strategy for 2016?
Well, what I need is for you to close the leads that I generate. But if we actually...
No, we're talking about strategy composition.
Oh, sorry, Charlie, sorry. No, what I really need is I need you to tell me how many leads you need from me. So if you come in and say, hey, Mark, these are the accounts, 1 through 100, that we're going to go after, go get me leads in those, I can do that. That's number one. Number two, I need to know, are we going to be growing in the install base? Do you need 70% of leads in the install base, 30 new logo, 50-50? What does that look like? And then also, if I'm pushing those campaigns out, I need the feedback. What's working? What's not working? So I can iterate my plan.
Okay. So now Charlie's going to jump into the middle here before we get to Hank, the HR, and I'm going to say functional leaders. What is the definition of strategy? We're talking about getting into strategic alignment, which we're demoing here today. But the definition of strategy is the allocation of 3 things: people,
Yep.
money,
Yep.
and time, okay? So what you just said there was incredibly insightful, because if he comes to you and says, hey, we're going to get 80% of next year's number from the existing customer base, then your marketing strategy is going to have a chapter in it called account-based marketing.
Correct.
You're going to deploy campaigns at the current customers and do land and expand.
Correct.
In contrast, if he came to you and said, I'm getting 80% of the number next year through new logos, you might double down on brand awareness as an example
No
to
question.
go wide, right?
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's come to Hank. So what does the CMO, Mark, need from Hank, the head of HR, to build a great a great marketing strategy for next year?
Well, obviously everybody says they need people, but Hank, when Vic tells me the types of campaigns we're going to run and what he needs, I need you to be able to get me the right type of people that can do that. And you're a huge input into my org chart. So I need to know how to build my org chart, get that feedback so we can bring the right talent in the door. I mean, it still comes down to people.
Yep. So Hank, in most companies, you're a generalist.
Yeah.
You're supporting the talent needs across the entire company. So here, Mark walks into your office and says, hey, I need a social media campaign expert, or I need a data scientist. And you're looking at him like he's got 3 heads, right? So are you going to be able to deliver?
Yeah, because I'll know in the strategy, I'm gonna have some lead time because he's gonna spell out in there what I need and when.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be reactive after somebody gets fired or whatever happens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know in advance, I need to hire these people. I can get very specific on how to go find them.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so this is probably a good time for a break. We talked about strategic alignment at the CEO level. We talked about it at the Parker level, head of products. We talked about it at the Mark level, head of marketing. So let's take a short break. It's just one more break. When we come back, we're gonna shift gears and we're gonna hear from Vic, the VP of Sales, on his needs, and Hank, the head of HR, on his needs from his peers in order to build an effective strategy for next year. So stick around after the break.
Your finish line is your number, and the only way to reach it is to make certain everyone is pulling their weight and headed in the same direction. That's why SBI uses proven techniques to bring everyone on your team on board with successful, standardized sales programs, enabling victory at the turn of every quarter.
Welcome back. You're watching SBI TV from our beautiful set today. I am Greg Alexander, CEO of SBI, and that right there is a brilliant team of SBI strategists, people that should be in your life. Today we are trying to help you make your 2016 number by demoing how to develop and execute a revenue growth strategy. We're using our companion workbook to make that happen and the 6-step revenue growth methodology that you can find in it. Today's focus is on getting into strategic alignment. In the first 2 segments, we defined strategic alignment, we set the scene, we introduced our characters for our role play, and we demonstrated alignment between the CEO, the product leader, the marketing leader, the HR leader, and the VP of sales. And then we went a step further. In our last segment, we saw how Parker, the head of products, needed to be aligned with these guys, how Mark, the head of marketing, needed to be aligned with these guys. And in our last segment here, we're gonna get into Vic, the VP of sales, and Hank, the HR leader, okay? So at this point, we've got alignment between the CEO and product, between the CEO and marketing, and those 2 gentlemen have alignment across the entire organization. However, we're still gonna miss the number if the sales leader and the HR leader don't get themselves into alignment. So let's jump back into it. So let's shift to sales strategy. So Vic, what do you need from Parker, the head of products, in order for you to write a killer sales strategy for 2016?
So what I need from Parker is products that solve problems within our customer base that are urgent, that they're willing to pay for, and that stays ahead of the market. If I'm selling a legacy product in a very competitive market space, then I'm really fighting from behind the 8 ball. And I can't win because the product is not going to meet my client's needs. So I need him to deliver them on time. I need them to be, if there's a seasonal impact to our buyers, I need them to be delivered ahead of that seasonal buying cycle so that I can sell when the customer's ready to buy. If he misses that point, I'm done.
Right, so let's go through a hypothetical here.
Sure.
All right, so we spend 15% a year on R&D.
Yeah.
Okay, and our success as a company is dependent upon coming out with new products, okay? I, the CEO, handed you a number for 2016 that has a $100 million bogey on this invention that Parker came out with, okay? And that sucker's gonna hit the market July 1st. So you have from July through December 31st to sell $100 million of the new stuff. If he's late by 3 months, what happens to you?
I'm screwed.
Why are you
I've got 3 months now to make up a $100 million bogey on a product that missed the market. If this was let's say it's a retail sale,
Yep.
and the season, and I'm coming into the selling or the buying season, which is July, let's call it Q3, because I'm not going to be buying during the customers aren't buying during Christmas, the holidays, right? Yeah. They need to buy now to implement after the first of the year. If he misses that window, we might as well burn the R&D budget because I can't sell a product that's behind the market, and I can't sell it to my clients when they're not ready to buy. They're focused on their customers.
Yeah. So here's what's going to happen, right? So he's going to be late by 3 months. You're going to come to me looking for relief, right? And I'm not going to give you quota relief. I'm going to go ding his bonus, and he's going to tell me, well, we missed the number because you underfunded it. and I'm going to argue because I gave you a 15% R&D budget, and when I benchmark that against my peers, I'm in line. So then you're going to pass the hot potato over to marketing and say, hey, give me a break. You don't always have to sell what's on the truck. Sell a vision. So marketing, go market it and get some pre-buys, right? And then you're going to pass the buck to Hank, the HR leader, and is going to say, he didn't give me anybody in my marketing team that knows how to market this exciting new stuff through these new channels. You see how quickly this can get out of control, right? So Vic and Parker need to be in unbelievable alignment, all right? Let's go from Vic, the VP of Sales, to Mark, the CMO, and think about not what you need to make your number, but what you need to craft your sales strategy. So call it middle of Q3.
Yeah.
You're writing your sales strategy for next year. You walk into into Mark's office, and you're, let's say you're 3/4 of the way, you're at the marketing chapter, and now it's time to make the ask. What are you asking for?
Well, what I want from Mark is I want a steady stream of quality leads within our existing customer base for cross-sell, upsell, but also on the new logo side, I need campaigns that are going to drive customers into us.
Okay.
And if we're able to do that, then he can contribute to me making my number. I'm not all alone out here. I've got probably 75% of the numbers within my responsibilities. I want Mark to carry a number like me. In this day and age, I don't think it should be acceptable, or it is acceptable, that a Mark carries a number just like I carry a number. So a steady stream of quality leads. I also need a steady stream of quality content. I'm out there in the buying process. We all know the metrics these day and age on where the buyer is in the buying process. When he hands the leads off to me, I need content that allows me to take that buyer through the remainder of the process.
So I'm surprised you didn't say I need his budget. So I've given him 5% of $1 billion, call it $50 million to go market. Do you want some of that?
I want all of it. Let's face it, I'm Vic. I want everything, right? Well, I need to know where he's allocating that budget. If I have a cross-sell, upsell campaign that I'm executing in the field, if I have a new logo campaign, I need to make sure that that budget is allocated to that. If I have a list of the top 100 accounts that I'm going after, and let's face it, it's all about the big deal for me. So if he's not allocating his budget appropriately to some of those big deals, some of those 100 accounts, then I'm not going to make the number.
All right, very good. All right, so now let's go from Vic, the VP of Sales, to Hank the Tank, head of HR. So it's called the late Q3, you turn to your HR section, right? Vic, the VP of Sales, loves to do things like reorg, go to hunter farmer, go to vertical industry, right? These are the sexy things to do. So let's say you make a change in your sales strategy, you walk into Hank, the head of HR, what are you asking for?
From Hank, I think my ask from Hank is fairly simple. I need a steady stream of A players that meet the demands of the buyer. If my buyer or my product is changing and I have a more complex product and I have a legacy sales team, then I'm going to rely on Hank to provide me a steady stream of A players that can meet the demands of the market, sell the products the product develops, and leverage the marketing content coming out of the marketing group.
So in your experience, Vic, how many Hanks, the HR leaders, are capable of doing that?
Very few,
right.
Very few. And it's, you know what, it's easy to blame Hank. You know, in my case, I need to give Hank a scorecard and some competencies and capabilities that I need for those guys to make the number. Hank is not going to know that.
Right.
So that's my alignment with Hank.
You got to tell him what you need.
Exactly.
And you got to be prescriptive.
And if I don't do that, then I've got no one to blame but myself for missing.
All right, Hank, you have been patiently awaiting for your moment in the sun.
I have been.
All right. And you're also the tallest guy in the set, so we're all now a little afraid of you.
I'll stand on my toes here.
Yeah. So we're now strategic alignment, HR out.
Okay.
Okay, so let's first go to products. Parker, the head of products. What do you need from Parker to write your talent strategy for 2016?
Yeah, I need a clear understanding of what market problems we're trying to solve, which solutions are going to do that, and what talent will bring that to life. It's that simple. So what talent do you need in the product organization to create those solutions so that we can compete in the marketplace with the best products?
Okay. So let's go to the CMO, Mark. What do you need from Mark?
Yeah, from Mark, I need to understand his strategy and the major components of it, and which talent will help execute each component. So we talked earlier about content, right? You need great people that are writers and can create the best content in the market. You need people that can come in and are really good at driving new logos.
Yeah.
Is it account-based marketing?
Yeah.
Do you need lead development reps So what do they look like? How many of them? And when do you need them?
Okay, got it.
So Mark, do you think through capacity planning and marketing? Do you think through job design and role corruption? I mean, how often are you and Hank collaborating and talking about staying into functional alignment?
Not often enough. I mean, I compare how often I speak to Vic with how often I speak to Hank, and it's nowhere near as often, and that's got to go up.
So as a result of that, you engage in what I call checkbook marketing.
Yep.
You have needs, they're not inside your company, so you go hire agencies. And then
Yeah.
you come to me, Charlie, and say, I need more money.
Yes.
And I'm saying, why aren't you doing this stuff in-house? I mean, you've got an org chart with dozens of people on it. Giddy up.
Yep.
So this is what happens when marketing and HR are not in alignment, all right? So now, Hank, let's go to your nemesis, your nightmare,
Yeah.
which is Vic, the VP of Sales. I'm measuring you, Charlie, the CEO, is measuring you, Hank, the head of HR, on things like turnover rate, employee engagement, employee satisfaction. I want to pay as little as possible. And you want competitive comp plans. I'm angry because the numbers aren't where they need to be, and the source of your pain is usually not marketing, usually not products, but sales.
Yeah.
So now's your time during the strategic planning process to make your ask to Vic. What is it?
So Vic, I need a very clear understanding of what the go-to-market strategy is going to be, right? The number of headcount you need, the type, and when you're going to need them throughout the year, so that I can go right now and start proactively sourcing those people. Because when I get reactive, guess what happens? Turnover, open headcount, bad things for the sales organization.
All right, so I'm going to step in as Charlie, and I have a theory. I think your salespeople aren't very good. I think if I plotted them on an ABC curve, you got half C players, 25% B players, 25% A players, but you're married to these guys and gals. You have personal relationship with them. You take them to beautiful places like this, to President's Club, right? The last thing you want to do is fire them. So I say, I look at you and I'm like, I put you in the box.
Yeah.
I go to Hank, go assess all these people. I want high quality assessments and tell me who's an A, who's a B, who's a C, who can do the job. Prove to me that I'm getting value for my compensation dollar.
Yeah.
So now you go over to Vic and say, I got to assess your team. What happens?
Well, I need a very clear understanding of what they're being held accountable for, the competencies necessary by role to be successful in the job. I need that level of clarity. And then I need to make sure that the entire team is on board with going through this assessment process, and you pave the way for me.
Are you going to be willing to do that?
I have to, because I have too many open spots on my org chart that are causing me to miss the number. I have some folks that aren't keeping pace with the market that I know that I need to replace. But if I yank them out of the field, that's just another hole in my org chart. So I need Hank to stay ahead of the game and have a bench that's ready to fill those voids when I need him to.
All right. Nice job, fellas, in our little role play. That was fun. So there you have it, an introduction, to the concept of strategic alignment and why it is essential that you get into it if you're going to make your number. Obviously, there is a lot more to it than our little fun role play here in paradise, but I strongly urge you to go for it. And if you need help, these guys are here for you. We're here to serve you. So guys, we are out of time, but I wanted to thank each of you for preparing and coming here and letting me ask these somewhat rhetorical and funny questions. But I think you did a service for everybody and got everybody to understand the basics of what strategic alignment are. So I appreciate you guys coming on the show. All right?
Nice.
I would like to also thank you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you enjoyed this show, and I can't imagine you didn't, I suggest you subscribe to SBI TV at salesbenchmarkindex.com/TV. Or if it's easier for you, go to YouTube and search for the SBI channel. We have some incredible guests already confirmed for future episodes, and we're going to bring the show to beautiful settings like this, and it's must-watch television at this point. But until then, on behalf of my SBI crew, I wish you the best of luck as you try to make your number.